Good morning, everyone. I'm Sharina Coleman, Vice President of Business Facilitation and the Glades region for the Business Development Board. I'm so thrilled to have everyone on the call this morning to hear a wonderful and robust update of the great economic development activity that has been occurring in the Glades region, which consists of the cities of Belglade, South Bay, and Pahokee. We are so fortunate to provide this update to you so that you can receive for yourself firsthand an amazing understanding of exactly all the hard work that has been occurring in the Glades by all the partners throughout Palm Beach County. So we're just thanking you once again for attending this morning. We'd also like to thank you or give a great big thanks to our sponsor of this event, Florida Crystals, for their generous opportunity for allowing us to provide this event at no cost for our participants. So thank you once again to our partners at Florida Crystals. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Kelly Smallridge, the President and CEO of the Business Development Board, and she is today's moderator. Kelly, take it away.
Thank you, Sharina, and good morning, everybody. It is absolutely a pleasure to present to you today on the activity that we see in the Glades and to have more than 80 participants on this call. As Sharina mentioned, we are so appreciative of Florida Crystal, who was absolutely adamant about making sure that we created this forum for everybody in this county to receive this update from Representative POLSKY, Career Source, Reverend REASE, and of course our great partner at the county, Sherry Howard. And we look forward to all of those panelists today, and we thank them for their participation. Even among COVID, Sharina and I are seeing great activity in the Glades, and so we thought it would be important today to share that information with you. I'd like to take you back about 7 or 8 years ago with the great support of the Board of County Commissioners, the Business Development Board, and also in partnership with our cities, created a special department at the BDB solely focused on the Glades. And we've been very proud and amazed at Sharina Coleman's leadership and her involvement and the way that she's been able to create great relationships and collaboration out in the Glades area. We worked for several years with the cities to figure out how to market the area. A matter of fact, we market it as the gateway. It has 38 miles from the Palm Beaches and Florida's East Coast, 90 miles from Fort Myers and the Gulf of Mexico, and 90 miles north of Miami. It is the crossroads for 12 million people in South Florida, so it's very attractive to manufacturing, logistics, and distribution. And let's not forget one of the multi-billion-dollar industries in our county, of course, agribusiness. We are the home of the 21st century food processing and packaging, sugar milling and refining, manufacturing, distribution, and operation centers. And the BDB continues to promote the great agriculture area that is out there. I'd ask that everybody please mute your phones. Today we're going to have a format where we'll go into the 4 speakers. I'll take a look at the chat. Please chat your questions. I'll ask each speaker a couple of questions, and then we'll go into some updates from our city managers. So let's roll right into our panel this morning. I'd like to welcome our first speaker to the call, Representative Tina POLSKY, District 81, Florida House of Representatives. She is a certified mediator and spends her time helping people settle disagreements by working toward common ground in order to avoid litigation. She's also been a great friend of the BDB, helping us in Tallahassee, dealing with some infrastructure issues, making certain that we have shovel-ready property. Representative POLSKY, thank you for your hard work and advocacy, and I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Good morning. It's great to see all of you. I can't see everyone in this view, but I see my friends in Belglade. Good morning. Good morning, all. I can certainly attest to the hard work that the BDB does, that Sharina, Kelly, and the whole team do to work on economic development in the Glades. It has been my honor representing this area over the past 2 years. I'm not abandoning you. I am running for state senate to represent the same area, except Pahokee, unfortunately, is a different senate district. But I intend to stick with you and continue working on these important economic development projects. It has really been great to collaborate with the BDB. We tried to work on some real estate development, some new homes, and kind of the same issue keeps coming up with the land and demucking and how expensive it is. What makes the land so valuable for agriculture makes it difficult to build on, as you all know. And so, you know, it's certainly been a challenge, but I know that everyone in this group is working really hard to continue down this road. And just wanted to highlight a couple things that happened in the legislature this past year and some of the things that we've been working on relative to economic development. So last year, my very first term, last year I was able to get one appropriation through with respect to West Tech Academy, and I was very pleased about that because there were a bunch that were vetoed. This year I started off with more of a bang, having another year under my belt, and had about 6 or 7 appropriations in the budget, which, you know, was a really good first step, and, you know, was tough to do, but, you know, a lot of you worked really hard. The elected officials from the Glades area, they come up to Tallahassee a lot and they fight for their appropriations, and I really appreciate all their hard work. My team is amazing, Alexis, Terry, Robert, and, you know, we worked really hard on these. So we had a bunch in the budget, and then of course COVID happened. And we all got very concerned about what would happen to member projects. And as you all know, many got vetoed. I was thrilled that 2 very important projects got through the veto and the money is headed their way. So Belle Glade and South Bay both got stormwater improvement projects, which certainly are important for improving the infrastructure of the cities, which will help with attracting businesses to come and attracting people to purchase homes and to enjoy the area. So if you get businesses, you need places for people to live as well. So it's important that we, you know, continue working on the infrastructure of the city. So I'm very happy that those projects got through, and that I hope that they will, you know, go really well for all of you as you continue through these projects. I don't know what will happen next year. You know, if we have a really limited budget, I would hate for us to go through all the work that you have to do in the cities to put together these projects, that you do hiring lobbyists and working on it if they're not going to have any member projects. So we will see what happens. I certainly hope that we are able to continue the process that we started, but it's really hard to know what will happen next year. I mean, obviously, the economic conditions of the state are very dire right now, and looks like they will continue for a while. So I guess the best thing I can say is to prepare yourselves that even though we didn't get as much as we would have liked this year, it would probably be even worse next year, unfortunately, just because of overall revenue having nothing to do with the individual cities. So, you know, just bear that in mind as we go forward. And of course, as we find out information about how appropriations will go for next year, we will be in touch. So that is pretty much, you know, as I said, the concern for next year's budget. And I wanted to talk to you about, yeah, so we will talk about this project, I think, going forward. Kelly or Sharina will describe this. But in the middle of session, folks from the BDB and the county came to me with this project in mind that was going to be a really great economic boon for the Glades area. But the problem they were having was that, again, they had to build on land that needed to be demucked. And this particular project really needed very sturdy base because it was going to be a, you know, a large factory and large areas with parking areas and trucks, etc. So what do we do about getting some funding to help with the cost of demucking? So the land might be less expensive than another area that they might be looking at outside Palm Beach County, but what do you do? But then when you add in the demucking costs, it becomes even equally expensive or more expensive. So with the help of the folks from BDB and the help of Palm Beach County and the help of the elected officials in the Glades, we tried to find a source of revenue or a source of funds or grants to help with the demucking costs. And unfortunately, we were not able to find one up in Tallahassee. We met with DEO, Department of Economic Opportunity, several times, and they looked at their statutes and the language that they had in terms of what they could do for kind of this environmental cleanup or demucking, and none of the monies that they normally have for projects would work. A lot of the reason was because it was a private entity, and So that was a little bit of the issue there. They suggested we talk to the governor's office. I know that there were multiple meetings that went on with people in the governor's office to see if they could change some of that language. And unfortunately, we were not able to get that in this past session. That's not to say we can't in the future. Sometimes these things take a few years to develop. So with kind of the great group that's on this call, if anyone has any ideas of how we can find state-sourced funding to help with demucking costs, we're always open to ideas about how we can do that. But I can certainly assure you that the folks on this call worked really hard to try to find an avenue, and I'm glad to hear that this project is still alive, and I look forward to hearing that update from BDB. So I'm not sure if there's another slide here. I think yes, there's another bill. So we worked on this last year and the bill did not pass. Changed the bill around a little bit, and I was proud to be the prime co-sponsor and help present this bill with Representative Clemens, and it did pass this year. So this bill allows people in rural areas to get money from the regional economic boards to help fund these economic development projects. There will be professional staff working with these regional boards. We are part of a group that includes Okeechobee, and they will kind of do what BDB does, but on a larger regional level to try to get economic development in these areas. The percentage of money that you have to put up to get a matching grant has been lowered, and there's just different opportunities for rural economic development. You still need to put up some money for it, so that still could be a challenge for some folks in our area, but it is a step forward in the right direction, and we were glad to get this through. And if anyone has any specific questions about this, we can talk to you offline how this might be able to help a particular rural economic development project. So that is a little bit of the rundown of what happened in Tallahassee with very specifically, which would affect the Business Development Board and the Glades area. And I'd be happy to answer any questions at the end that anyone has. Thank you so much for having me. I look forward to hearing the rest of the presentation.
Thank you, Representative POLSKY. We do have a question that was chatted in. It said, if you win the Senate seat in the upcoming election, what are some of the items you will be pushing for in the Glades?
Sure. Well, as I said, I will always continue working on appropriations. I hope to have a little bit of a stronger voice as a senator than a representative. The Senate only has 40 senators and the House of Representatives has 120 members. So you do get to have a little more influence, and especially being in the minority party as a senator, you have a little more voice than I would potentially have than I did in the House. So I would certainly use whatever power I have to make sure that the Glades is always front and center with appropriations, and continue to work on that. Hopefully we have a budget that allows us to do so. And I will, always work with whoever has great ideas about legislation that they think would make a difference. I'm always happy to hear those ideas and push them forward. As a senator, you have unlimited bill slots, so as opposed to only 6 in the House. So I certainly would have opportunity to put forward legislation that anyone believes would be really helpful going forward. And, I'm just really glad that I've had the opportunity to represent this area, and will be able to continue that focus and that dedication going forward in the Senate because of, both positions representing this area. So, and any kind of general legislation that I do, I would always make sure that it's important to the Glades as well. And I believe that it would be, as, we all kind of believe in the same, values.
Great. Thank you, Representative POLSKY, again for your leadership at the state level and for your partnership. You provided this perfect segue to the next conversation that we'd like to have, which is a pipeline an overview of what the BDB's been working on in terms of economic development activity for the Glades. And again, we believe that the model that we've created for the Glades is a solid model that brings the Business Development Board in partnership with CareerSource and working very closely with the cities. I'm not going to go into great detail because we've signed confidentiality agreements with a lot of these companies, but the point of this slide is to show you that we are actively engaged in conversations with companies that do want to set up and operation in the Glades, with the most important one, Representative POLSKY mentioned, is Project JACOBSON, which could bring 200 jobs to the Glades area. Very good salaries, manufacturing operation, and we're very pleased with the way that this company is progressing, and we hope to announce this project within the next 60 days. At this point, I'll turn it over to Sharina for the remaining projects on the list.
Thank you, Kelly, and thank you, Representative Polsky. One project that I'd love to mention and give a shout out to my partner, Leandre Camel, who will give his update as well when we hear from the municipalities. But one project would be Project Covered, which is a new project that has been received into the BDB pipeline that will represent 40 jobs. I'll let him discuss that a little bit more. Other projects that are also looking at the Project Cotton, which would be 100 jobs. Their specific location is not disclosed as of yet. And another project that I've been working on with my colleague, Gary Hines, was a recent inquiry into a parcel of land off of US Highway 27. So we hope to work with that project in the upcoming weeks to find out what their needs are. So that our pipeline represents 380 jobs. From year to date, our fiscal year begins on October 1. So between October 1 and today, August 4th, we've provided technical assistance to 71 organizations and inquiries in the Glades region. We've helped 8 companies as it relates to their COVID-19 emergency business planning. And we've, of course, helped our partners at the Department of Housing Economic Sustainability with 3 inquiry meetings relating to housing development over the past 2 fiscal years. We've announced one project, which is Eagle Security. A couple of weeks ago, you might have seen that. So we're very excited to help them with their expansion into the Glades region. Next slide, please. So when we think about ways that the BDB and through our partnerships with everyone in the region, what we really need to be focusing on is competitiveness. How do we maintain the competitive stance of economic development and the workforce in the Glades? So that's the reason the BDB has really focused on ways that we can help to develop the talent and workforce in partnership with Palm Beach State College and the school district of Palm Beach County, because ultimately talent is the new currency of economic development, and we understand that. And given the amazing buzz that we've received about the Glades surrounding the Renaissance that is coming about, we know that that is directly related to the uptick in inquiries that we've received in the past 12 months, which of course relates to the way that we're developing the talent and workforce, because that's the #1 question that we receive from site selection consultants that are looking into industrial sites in the Glades is, what is the talent pipeline looking like? And what are the partnerships that are already in place to support that infrastructure? So we focus on highlighting that in everything that we do. Claim Your Future Showcase is an event that the BDB has been putting on for the past 5 years, bringing hundreds, in this past year, over 1,000 students to the convention center in West Palm Beach. And we decided, how can we showcase what's going on in the Glades and provide an opportunity to share with the students out there the great industries that are in Palm Beach County, as well as laser focusing on the industries that we are attracting to the Glades. So we decided to do a Claim Your Future Showcase edition for the Glades, where we brought a half-dozen panelists to Pahokee High School and Glades Central this past February. The event was moderated by Marsha Andrews. We're so grateful for her support to just provide the students there that were so inquisitive and excited to hear about the opportunities that are coming to the region. So we look forward to expanding on that program to once again help us just be as competitive as we can with the currency that's being used in economic development today, which is, of course, talent, talent, talent. And I will lead this into my colleague, Kristen Boyd, who'll talk about the specific ways that she's been leading the BDB's efforts to market the Glades. Kristen?
Good morning. So marketing the Glades region. The Business Development Board strategically markets the opportunities in the Glades regions to companies through multiple platforms. We have a national ad campaign which targets companies across the nation, and we've made sure that the opportunities in the Glades region are well represented. For example, we do have professional testimonial videos from TELUS products. We also publish 5 magazines per year that reach a large audience. Specifically in recent months, we focused on the amazing talent at Pahokee Middle High School and also West Tech. To the left, you can see Sharina and some of the panelists participating in the Glades Region Economic Forum earlier this year. And what I'd say was one of Sharina and I's favorite initiatives this year, as she was saying, was taking our Claim Your Future showcase out to the Glades region for the first time ever. Each year, we host a countywide Claim Your Future showcase at the Palm Beach County Convention Center to show students the possible career opportunities available to them. And typically, each school in the county brings 1 bus load of students to West Palm Beach. So this year, in addition to that, we took the event out west and hosted it at the schools. It was really an amazing event. Last but not least, we're always pumping out as much information as possible in our special quarterly Glades Region newsletter, which ultimately drive traffic to our dedicated microsite, pbcglades.org. That microsite is a special platform that highlights the opportunities and the region as a competitive location, specifically for distribution and industrial facilities. We also use the brochure you can see on the screen to market the region, as well as send available properties to site consultants on a monthly basis. That pretty much sums up our marketing efforts for the Glades region, but they're constantly changing because we want to stay as competitive as possible.
Back to you, Kelly, to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you so much, Sharina and Kristen. And again, just to reiterate the message that and the information that we're providing is showing you that economic development is more than just talking to a CEO interested in locating in the Glades. All of that information in terms of marketing, the website, the maps, the brochures, all of that certainly creates credibility for the region when we're meeting with CEOs that want to come in. This is about a $200,000 to $250,000 initiative that the BDB is leading. Certainly, it comes at a cost, but well worth the effort, and again, could not do it without our great partners. We're pleased to have on the call also with us today, Reverend Dr. Robert REASE, Chair of Lake Okeechobee Regional Economic Alliance. He's a member of the Regional Board of Directors for the American Red Cross Greater Palm Beach Area Chapter, the Glades Youth Connection, the Civil Service Board of the City of Belglade, and the Glades Patch Board. He's also a chaplain for the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. My relationship with Reverend REASE goes back probably 9 or 10 years when serving the Glades and creating an economic development strategy was a conversation we had over pancakes and coffee one day. So Reverend REASE, thank you for your friendship. Thank you for your leadership, and thank you for being here today on this call.
Thank you, Kelly. We appreciate that. Again, I was sitting here watching as I'm saying to myself, you know, they're giving my presentation that I don't need to just say too much, because it was in 2013 that Kelly and I, we met and had those pancakes, and we were talking about what we were doing here at LORE. LORE was founded in 2006 with some business leaders and some local community leaders in an effort to find ways of stimulating the economy of the Glades. And we did a few things in helping some businesses to improve their business exteriors. But then we started talking about, you know, what else can we do to really prepare ourselves to bring in different businesses and diversity of businesses. At the time, we were at a high unemployment rate, and the only jobs we had were seasonal type jobs. And so we formed a partnership with the Business Development Board in 2013. And what you see right now is the result of that partnership of bringing new businesses and having people looking at the businesses. However, we do realize that there's still other things to do. We expanded our partnership from having just local businesses, and if we go to the next slide, we can show a slide after that. We can show you the number of businesses that are now a part of the Lake Okeechobee Regional Economic Alliance in Palm Beach County. And all of these businesses are putting input into what are the needs in order to make our community one that would be attracted to businesses. And through the effort of the Business Development Board and several workshops that we had, we're setting ourselves up for where we are right now. I do believe that we're in a pretty good position as far as economic development. Even during this pandemic, we see that new businesses are coming to our community. Construction is being, businesses are doing restructure. We noticed that on Main Street. If you ever go into Main Street of Belgrade, you'll see a number of new businesses that have opened up. And I truly believe it's all because of the hard work that we've done since 2013, preparing ourselves. And I think because of that, we're in the position that we are in right now with our economic development. One of the challenges that we know that if we're going to draw new business to our community, we have to work, first of all, with our existing businesses. And so we have our small business committee that's been working with our small businesses in after hours. And we're looking after they get out of this pandemic to continue working with our small businessing, helping them with their training needs, and also determining exactly what needs they have in order to expand their businesses. We've formed partnership with SCORE and Palm Beach County, the Business Development Board. We've also formed a partnership with Palm Beach State College, as well as West Tech, in order to make sure that these small businesses have an opportunity for training for their employees. The workshops that we've been having with the small businesses, we help them to look at ways through our lunches, look at ways in which to improve their businesses, as well as help them to find funding for expansion. So we're truly happy and we're really pleased at what we see taking place in our community, especially with the collaboration between Palm Beach State College and West Tech for business training. We started a construction academy a few years ago in 2017, and we had the first group that came out of that academy. There were about 18 of them, and all 18 of them found jobs. And as we continue to provide those training opportunities at West Tech and Palm Beach State College, we find that there are a number of citizens who are stepping up to the plate to get the necessary training. We're thankful to the state for funding that they provided to us to reopen West Tech. And because of that, we still have, we have a number of other new projects and things that are coming in place. But that business partnership between LOR and the Business Development Board has really grown. And that's why we are where we are today. As you're seeing with the number of potential businesses coming to our community, it really is going to change the economic conditions for our community, as well as the business environment of our community. Again, we are working very diligently to make sure that whenever a business come here, whatever they need, they will have, that we'll be able to provide them as far as employment. We do have our business roundtable, as I said before, where again, we bring in different businesses to sit down with us and we talk about what the needs are, and then we look for ways in which to provide for those needs. Again, we have several committees that look to address all of these different areas. I know you mentioned about the housing. We have a housing committee that focus on creating and finding workforce housing and make sure that we have affordable housing for the citizens of our community. Because we realize that once we bring these businesses in, we've got to have housing. We want them to stay here in the Glades area. We don't want them to move into other places. So we're truly are working on that area. I know that many cities are working with other developers and seeking developers who will come and build workforce housing and affordable housing. And I think they also have some incentives for those developers as well. And they're meeting with several of those. And then another area that we feel is going to be very attractive for our community is tourism. We have a tourism committee that is working to enhance and make sure that people are aware of the tour attractions that we have here in the Glades area. I think it's a treasure that's been uncovered, and one way to do that is to work with Discovering Palm Beach County. We're working with South Florida PBS, and we're also working with other tourism organizations and chambers of commerce to bring them over to the Glades area so that they can see the great attractions that we have here. So again, we're looking for some great opportunities for tourism and using some of the resources that we already have here in our community. So again, we see a lot of great things that are taking place. When you look around the communities, you're going to see a lot of construction that is taking place. We have infrastructures that are being fixed, and so these are the things that are necessary to prepare your community, or our community, I should say, for the businesses that are coming in. And even in this time of pandemic, when we are social distancing and a lot of people who are having to stay at home because of the COVID-19 virus, but even in this environment, we see activities taking place in the Glades of new businesses opening up, new construction being done, road projects being done. And all of those things have been the result of all the hard work of all of those industry leaders who are part of LOR, who have advocated for LOR, not only on the county level, but also on the state level and some national level for the communities of the Glades. And we look forward to using new technology to get back on board for training for businesses in our community. And we encourage those who are in our community to remain faithful. Don't become discouraged by what's happening here. Things are getting better. We know that our restaurants, those that have dine-in services, they are the ones impacted greatly by that. But as you notice, if you ever notice, on a Friday or Thursday, our fast food businesses and those that do takeout services are coming back, and they're doing well. So again, we just look forward to working with you in the future to help to continue this progress we've made towards economic development in the Glades area.
Thank you, Reverend Reese. And I wanted to underscore the comment you made that it's been 7 to 9 years of really laying the groundwork to prepare the Glades for good quality economic development. And I can't underscore enough that the system that is out there and the leadership that's out there has really helped the Business Development Board show that community in a different light. We've had about 25 people join the call since I opened up with remarks. And for the 25 new people, we're talking about new activity in the Glades in the next 60 days, coming out with a big announcement. And Reverend Reese, you mentioned Palm Beach State College, West Tech, and of course I'll throw in their career source. When we brought this particular prospect to the Glades area, all of those partners were at the table. And as Sharina mentioned, talent is the currency of economic development. And this particular prospect that's looking to invest significantly in the Glades was very impressed with the talent pipeline that we were able to show them in the Glades. So all of that hard work at West Tech and Palm Beach State and Charles Duval's career source knowledge certainly helped us to what we think will be a very big win for the Glades area. Again, an announcement in about 60 days. I do have one question, Reverend Reese, that was chatted to us before we go into our third speaker. And the question is, what has been the #1 reported need that LOR has addressed from the business community over the past few years?
Well, again, we know that training. And that's where, again, where we talked about that partnership that we've been working on. We helped establish the Career Readiness Roundtable. And with that roundtable, we have been looking at and finding ways of providing training and new job training for our business partners. I know one of the areas is, I know that West Tech is very proud of is the medical field that they're working in. And I don't want to speak for them, but they can share with you through the training they're providing to individuals to go into the home health aid business and phlebotomy. We have CDL and we have construction. Again, that Construction Academy has put out a number of certified individuals to provide for that. At LOR is basically an organization that find resources for our business community to make things happen. Again, most of the individuals on LOR are business owners themselves. But what we do is we work together to find means and resources to provide to our businesses. That the Small Business Roundtable and the Lunch and Learn is that period of time that we have that we call in businesses and truly work with them and help them to see how they can use best practices to improve their businesses. Part of that is also helping them find access to funding, looking at different agencies that provide fundings to small businesses. So we serve as a coordinating activity committee to sort of get things going and get things working. We can't hear you, Kelly.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Reverend Reese. Appreciate your leadership and your partnership. Moving right along to our third speaker, third of 4 speakers this morning. Sherry Howard is a great friend to the Glades, extremely passionate about the area. She's the Deputy Director of the Palm Beach County Department of Housing and Economic Sustainability. She leads the county's efforts to promote business development opportunities through public-private partnerships to implement business recruitment, expansion, and retention. She oversees programs including loans, industrial development bonds, tax exemptions, and incentives. Sherry, thank you also for your support and partnership, and I'm going to turn it over to you.
Can you hear me okay? I had a little phone issue.
We can hear you perfectly. Go ahead, Sherry.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Kelly. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the Glades area. As you said, Kelly, it's one of my passions, and I spend a lot of time there. So just to provide a little update, we've been very busy with the CARES Act funding. I'll start there. And at the end of May, the Board of County Commissioners made available $60 million to the CARES Restart Business Grant Program. The portal closed on June 12th, and we had a total of almost 5,000 applications. As of last Friday, about $45.5 million had been sent to businesses and checks for assistance, and that was for 2,673 businesses. The average grant amount was $17,000. The maximum grant amount was $25,000, and that was based on 6 months of expenses, depending on their tax returns, and they can use for various uses, including salaries and payroll, commercial inventory, commercial lease, commercial mortgage or rent, utilities, and other expenses related to safety provisions or PPE. The county wanted to make it as flexible as possible so that businesses could use it to continue their operations and move forward. The Board of County Commissioners really wanted to target those small businesses, as a lot of the businesses that received PPP in the beginning were reported to be some of the larger businesses. So of some of the 2,673 businesses that have received checks, 2,381 of those, or 88%, were businesses that had 5 or less employees. And they also had 66% of them had, $50,000 or less in annual gross receipts. So we're really hitting those mom and pop businesses, those hair salons, those retail brick and mortar, the restaurants, and the gyms and fitness centers. So we're really excited about that. Also, about a week ago, the board allocated another $15 million towards the Business Restart program. We're going to run through the rest of the applications that we have in-house now before the $15 million is allocated, and we're putting the finishing touches along with administration's directive on how those funds are going to be allocated, or if any changes are going to be made from the current program. About 30 businesses in the Glades so far have received funding from the Business Restart program, including a lot of our favorite restaurants and retail brick and mortar stores at about $480,000. So we're seeing that we're helping the whole county, including the Glades, and I'm always put a smile on my face when I see one of those applications go across my desk and it's in the Glades community. So we're really happy about that. We've also, as everybody's been talking about, it's been really busy during the pandemic with our loan programs. We've funded four new businesses. They're small businesses, but 88% of all businesses in the county are small business, and they're the bread and butter of our communities. We've altogether, through our loan programs, we have helped 30 businesses with total project costs of almost $25 million, and they've created over 300 jobs. And as Reverend REASE mentioned, a lot of these businesses, we're helping existing businesses to expand, and that's one of the great successes in this program as well as working with some of the economic development incentive projects that Kelly mentioned, like Project JACOBSON, and we look forward to working with them to make that a success as well. So we have about 7 projects since this pandemic happened in the pipeline as well, with respect to financing for economic development. We do have a 36-unit housing development. We have 3 manufacturing facilities, and we have 3 retail brick and mortar and healthcare facilities that we are assisting with our program, and we'll keep you apprised of those as they come along. We noticed that there's a lot more interest in the opportunity zones, and that's drawing a lot of interest in the Glades as well. To talk a little bit about housing, we know that the governor put out his executive order 20-180 that extended the moratorium on evictions and mortgages, mortgage programs until September 1st. So they've extended it an additional month. But in the meantime, we also, our department is also managing our mortgage assistance program that started on June 29th. The Board of County Commissioners allocated $20 million towards that program. Eligible homeowners can apply for assistance to receive up to 4 months of mortgage payments, but not to exceed $10,000. So we do have the portal that is open there. It's open until Friday, August 14th for the first round. So if you are interested, please give our office a call. We have so far about 757 applications have been submitted, And we've granted about 150 checks have gone out to homeowners. So we're underway in that regard. Our Department of Community Services also is running the rental and utilities assistance program. And so far in the Glades, they have assisted about 285 residents out there with their rental or their utilities assistance. And these cities include Canal Point, South Bay, Pahokee, and Belglade. So we are seeing a lot of progress there. And I think that's about it. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you so much, Sherry. So we've talked about new investment coming in through manufacturing, some investments that have been made in small businesses and in retail. I want to move to a question that was chatted regarding tourism. And obviously tourism is a great opportunity in the Glades area. So the question is, what is the county doing to attract hotels to the Glades? The Business Development Board is aware of one investor, and I would just put them in a BC category. By no means would I put them in an A. We're in some early stage conversations with an investor that would like to build a hotel. But what are you seeing on the county side in terms of hotel activity, camping opportunities, taking advantage of the Lake Okeechobee area?
We work very closely in talking to the Tourist Development Council with regards to hotels, and it has been literally my #1 passion to get a hotel in the Glades community. And I've entertained many developers that have come and looked, and I know that that Lomax can talk about it because he's had to meet them with me, and I will never stop that until I get something there. So it's really a passion of mine, because I agree with everyone's sentiments with regards to how beautiful the community is, the different components that the Glades offers that other communities just don't offer. And so we are working on that continually. So I've never let that go.
Okay, and I have one more question. What are a few economic development items in the Glades Regional Master Plan that are currently being addressed by the county?
I think that the Glades Region Master Plan has an array of different types of housing and economic development projects that we continue to work on. One of the things that we do on an annual basis is we go in and look at the infrastructure projects or other projects that have been successful, and there's been, we have it on our website actually, whether it's road improvements, water, wastewater, those types of things that were identified as priorities by each of the cities. As you know, they were the leads in this Glades Region Master Plan along with Lore, and we put that site out and update it annually with all of the things that have been happening in the legislature, with our legislators, with our county, with DOT, with the cities. So we try to keep everybody up to speed on all of the infrastructure improvements, economic development improvements, workforce improvements, all of the things that really are all tied together that make economic development.
Great. Thank you again so much, Sherry, for the partnership. So now we're going to move on to our fourth speaker. Charles DUVAL is with the Career Source West Center. He serves as the Associate Vice President. He's led Career Source Palm Beach County's dedicated office in the Glades for 11 years and has witnessed the changes in workforce and talent that have taken place. Charles, we look forward to receiving updates. And again, we thank you for always being at the table with the Business Development Board when we're courting companies. So I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly. And it's my pleasure to be here this morning to discuss economic development, workforce development issues in the Glades. It was said earlier that talent is the currency of economic development. And if that's the case, then certainly the Glades is rich, and Career Source certainly deals in that talent. So we are very pleased to be at the table in developing talent and providing talent to our local businesses. So I want to give you guys an idea of where we are as a county right now with COVID. I have some information on unemployment claims. And in Palm Beach County, you see that through COVID, since this pandemic has started, Palm Beach County is in fourth place in terms of unemployment claims at about 155,000 claims. Now, the reason I mention this is because it's important to put into context where we are with the Glades. Right now, Palm Beach County has an unemployment rate at about 10%. Historically, the Glades has outpaced Palm Beach County's unemployment rate to the tune of about 4 to 5 times. Fortunately, what we're seeing though is that while we've seen COVID have a large impact on the rest of the county, that doesn't necessarily appear to be translating in a devastating way to the Glades. The Glades is still doing relatively well. Pre-COVID, we were at an unemployment rate of about 20%. That while that number may be expected to inch a little higher, it's not at the historical proportions that we've seen previously. Next slide, please. So with CareerSource Palm Beach County, one thing I want to impress upon you all is sort of our role when it comes to workforce development in the Glades. Our mission here at CareerSource Palm Beach County is to connect business with talent. So in order to do that, we take a look at our business customers and we take a look at our job seeker customers, and we look to marry the two. Our programs at CareerSource Palm Beach County are here to help the entire community, whether you are just entering the workforce for the first time or whether you're a veteran. And at CareerSource Palm Beach County, particularly in the Glades, we see that's true also. To facilitate that mission, we have several programs that serve various groups of people, everyone from veterans, individuals who have criminal histories through our reentry program. We work with those individuals to help find them jobs as well. We also work through our Ticket to Work program for individuals with disabilities and special needs. And for the past 2 years, we've even had vocational rehabilitation co-located in our center in Belle Glade at the West Career Center. We also, one of our larger programs is our Young Youth and Young Adult program. Through a typical year, we're able to put over 100 young adults ages 17 and 21 through career preparation. A lot of the conversation has turned to what is being done to help train. Our young adult program is a large component of the training structure that we developed for young adults in the Glades. One of the reasons our program is so successful is that we are able to respond to the needs of employers on what they want to see from our future workforce, and we're able to incorporate those skills and lessons in our young adult program. Our young adult program typically runs 5 weeks where young adults are getting instruction in how to have a job. They're getting instruction in soft skills. They're getting instruction on how to shake a hand when you meet an employer, on how to search for a job, on how to write a resume. And from there, we're actually putting theory into practice when we take our young adults and we put them on 5-week internships paid by CareerSource Palm Beach County all around the Glades. And in a typical year, again, pre-COVID, we can go through about 100 individuals. So when the conversation turns to what is CareerSource doing to help train the next generation of workforce in the Glades, our youth and young adult program is certainly a very, very large component of that. So to give you guys an idea of how we're actually doing by the numbers, the CareerSource Palm Beach County in the Glades has actually served about 7,500 individuals in the Glades over the past 5 years. We've also distributed about $1.6 million in training funds and grants, both to individuals looking to upgrade their skills and also to local businesses in terms of helping them upskill their current workforce and provide additional training to their workforce as well. Over that same period, we've served about 43,000 customers through the West Career Center. So you can see certainly the need for our services, the demand for work readiness services, and the important role this plays in the overall economic development of the region. Next. Now, we also have not forgotten our business community either. The other piece of training is that employers want to train their workforce. So we have programs that are going to help out in that respect also. Particularly our on-the-job training program is a wonderful tool that employers can use, a great resource they can use to provide training to new employees. As a business owner, when you bring someone on, that costs you time, it costs you money to help bring them up to speed, to help train them in the things that you need them to do for your business. What this particular program does is that financially eases the burden of bringing somebody new on. So in other words, a business can hire someone new and go through this training program, and they can actually be reimbursed as much as up to 75% of a new hire starting salary just to train someone. So when we talk about training, the on-the-job training program is a big help with employers. Additionally, we've made it so that employers who have a current staff, a current workforce who may need an upgrade in skills for their employees can do that also through our customized training programs and what we call our incumbent worker training programs, which is a training grant available through the state of Florida that we connect local businesses with also. And every time I'm speaking with our friends up there at the state, they're always telling us, Charles, we need more applicants from the Glades. We need more applicants from the Glades. And I'm telling them, you need more applicants from the Glades also. So they recognize that we're in a fertile region for training, and they want to see more applications up there, and we want to give it to them. We want to make sure that these resources are coming to our area, and that's something that we are also working diligently on as well. Next slide, please. Now, the other piece that we look at when we talk about economic development and training in the Glades is that none of this is possible without the partnerships that we have built over the years at Career Source Palm Beach County with the larger community. Certainly you heard before, was mentioned things over at West Tech, the programs out there that are really training the next generation of workforce. You have Career Source Palm Beach County, who has been a founding member of the Glades Career Readiness Roundtable, which has worked to bring West Tech back to prominence and installed training programs that are employer-driven and that are responsive to the needs of the community. We support West Tech in terms of their programs in home health aides, phlebotomy, the pre-apprenticeship program that teaches individuals in areas such as HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and we're also partnering with West Tech as well for their CDL program. We also work with Palm Beach State College to support their programs through our individual training accounts or our WIOA funds, our scholarship program, and those programs are specifically addressing those needs. Additionally, we've supported Palm Beach State College through our Ferris grant program, which paid for the training of CNAs out in the region, and those individuals have gone on to get jobs as well. So a lot of the progress that you've seen us make comes directly from these collaborations. Of course, also a large partner of ours is the Business Development Board. A lot of the major movement that has come in the Glades in the past 5 years has been a direct result of the Business Development Board's efforts. And I thank you all for that partnership and allowing Career Source Palm Beach County to be at the table in those meetings with businesses to promote the Glades and talk about what it is we bring to the table, because it is a lot. We have the talent, we have the supply. Career Source Palm Beach County is the conduit, and what we're able to do is we're able to bring our talent to businesses looking to hire. And that's what we're about in the Glades.
Charles, thank you so much. I want to tell everybody, all 100 people that are on the call this morning, that you are one of the brightest spots of our tour when we bring businesses into Palm Beach County. Thank you for being so knowledgeable. Thank you for having a can-do attitude and really processing training grants and incentives very quickly for the benefit of us landing companies in the Glades. We appreciate your leadership and all of your support. You do a tremendous job.
Thank you.
So I would be remiss if I also did not recognize many of the cities, all of the cities that are on the call today, and great partners of the BDB as well. And I'm going to allow each of them just to say a couple of words, knowing that we have about 100 business leaders, government and education leaders on this Zoom call. I wanted to recognize and have Lomax Harrell and Mayor Wilson. Thank you so much for being here today. Beverly, I see you as well. You all are great partners of the BDB. We appreciate how effective you have been in handling all of the projects that we've brought to you in the most expedited manner. And I want to allow Mayor Wilson and Lomax Harrell If there's anything you'd like to say about economic development activity in the Glades, please, the floor is yours.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Thank you, Kelly, for your leadership. We're always feeling good knowing that you're still the CEO with the BDB. I'm confident with that throughout the years of our relationship. And to all our partners, Tina POLSKY for your leadership, Sherry, and to all of you, Dr. Reese and Charles DUVAL. I bring greetings to all of you on behalf of the city of Belgrade. I have in the room with me our city manager, who's going to bring a couple of quick comments, our deputy manager and our public relations, Ms. Mary Evans. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Lomax Harrell.
Kelly, thanks again. And I just want to say you couldn't have picked a better person to help the Glades area than Sharina. She is just absolutely awesome.
Thank you.
And we have been very fortunate the past few years being successful in Tallahassee as far as helping us with our infrastructure. Tina has done an amazing job. She worked well with Kevin Rader. We've just had a lot of things going our way. The county commission has helped us. We have been very fortunate in the Glades area over the past 6, 7, 8 years with everybody working for the Glades area, and it's through people in your position focusing on the Glades area. And one of the things that I'd like to add, even with the business opportunities that are coming our way, the infrastructure that's been given to us over the past few years, another thing that's happened in our favor in the Glades area, and Belgrade in particular, is through the leadership of Marsha Andrews with the school board. She just helped us obtain 10 acres through the old Go site, and through their efforts, they're giving that to the Glade, to Belgrade for development, for housing. And as you know, Kelly, that is something we have a crying need for. And I just think that we're blessed to have all you people working in our behalf, and then Marsha coming in here lately and making that happen for the Glades area for housing. So things are really going our way, and we appreciate all you guys.
Well, Lomax, thank you. And Marsha Andrews, if you've joined us, thank you so much. That is outstanding news. And of course, housing is an issue that companies look at. So Lomax, we appreciate you sharing that with us. But to your entire team, Beverly and Mayor, I know we've had some false starts. I know we've had some years of frustration, but I want to thank you for your patience, because we all know that good things are coming to your city. And it's due to your leadership. So thank you.
Thank you.
I'd like to now move on to the city of South Bay. We have Mayor Kyles and City Manager Leandre Camel. Good morning, gentlemen. If you would like to say a couple words about the city of South Bay and your economic activity for the benefit of our business leaders on the call.
Yes, good morning, Kelly. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. We really do appreciate it. On behalf of the city of South Bay, along with our city manager and our staff members and our commissioner, the wonderful work that the Business Development Board is doing in the Glades area. You don't only look at one city, you look at the entire Glades area. You have did a wonderful job. We thank our senators, our representatives, along with our county commissioners for just spearheading the wonderful things that is taking place in the Glades area. As Charles has already mentioned about job training, a lot of job training have been implemented in the Glades area. So therefore, the ones that do not have a job and will seek training for those jobs that come to the Glades area, no one would be able to tell us that we don't have well-trained people in the Glades area. Again, thank you for allowing us to be here today, and thank you for the wonderful work that each and every one of you are doing today.
Thank you, Mayor.
I share those sentiments as well with Mayor, to Representative POLSKY for the push in that additional $100,000 for that flood control dollars that are coming our way. But I want to talk about our location. You know, that's the opportunity we have here in South Bay, and we try our best to push that. Yes, the flood zone mapping has put some hurdles in our way. However, even during COVID-19 right now, we have some companies that are interested in locating and relocating to the city of South Bay. And I'm going to talk, thank you, Sharina, for that call that day in regards to Project Cupboard. And 40 jobs to some may seem like a little, but 40 jobs to the city of South Bay, that's a major impact. And in order to bring that company that's considering relocating within the city of South Bay, from relocating here in Florida to the city of South Bay. That is a good thing that's going to happen. When I got that phone call regarding the company, we immediately moved some things out of the way. That was one question they were in our zoning code that they were having some struggles with. And when we reviewed that language, we saw where we were able to make it happen for that company to move into an existing facility here in the city of South Bay. So our building department is on standby, ready to issue the permit. Once something comes in the door, we are ready to turn that around in order to get that company here. But we also have some Project Cuthbert. We also have some other companies that are interested in coming into the city of South Bay. They are, as Kelly said earlier, a BC type of conversation at this moment, but they are flat truck bed manufacturing company and distributor. So they're going to distribute them, wholesale them all from here, right here in the city of South Bay. They highlighted the location of the city, which is a major draw for them. And on our Park of Commerce, there's a conversation taking place with another developer that's wanting to build a 200,000 square foot facility and hire up to 300 employees in this location. However, we all know the flood zone and the demucking cost has slowed them down from that conversation. So there are exciting things that are happening here in the city of South Bay. And as the smallest city of the Tri-City areas, I like to call us the mightiest city due to our location on 27. So thank you to Representative POLSKY, Business Development Board, and all the partners that make this effort less challenging.
Thank you, Mayor and Leandre. And you may be the smallest, but you have some beautiful property in your city that we continue to look forward to bringing some business opportunities to you. So thank you again. Now moving on to the third and final city, I believe we have City Manager Chandler Williamson. Chandler, are you on the call? Okay, I don't know if Chandler jumped off.
I'm here, Kelly.
Oh, Chandler, there you are. Chandler, would you like to say a couple of words about Pahokee?
Yes, thank you. Thanks for hosting this Zoom call for all of us. It's certainly informational for the cities out in the Glades. I was listening earlier about the components that are required for economic development. We talked about training, and we also mentioned employment, which is critical here in the Glades. We have a wonderful agricultural business environment here in the Glades, but there are some other components that are missing. And we're certainly doing our best as the three cities to ensure we close the gap on those missing components. Most of those missing components are infrastructure issues that we have here in Pahokee. We've addressed a lot of our infrastructure here as far as streets and roads. We have a large project coming up, a $4.3 million Barfield Highway project coming up very soon. FDOT just approved us to move forward with that project. We've also did some glacier resurfacing of many streets in the community. We finished up phase 4 recently, and we moved into a phase 3 recently. We're moving to a phase 4 resurfacing fairly soon. We also have the demolition of the old hospital, and there's been a lot of conversations about that. But last fall, the commission did vote to approve the sale of that hospital if we could demolish it. We have a great partnership with the county. We were able to secure those dollars for demolition. We hope to agree to a contract on that demolition next week. And so you'll see that hospital come down over the next 30 days. And then thereafter, you'll see a sale of that property for housing development with a federal housing developer. So that's great news. We're also working closely with a couple of private investors who are coming back into the city to buy houses and renovate them and resell them in the community. So that's bringing value back to the community. So as we talk about training and we talk about employment, it's imperative right now in the Glades that we focus also on affordable housing for the residents and for new residents that are going to be moving into the area because of those new jobs. So our focus is housing right now, and focus also is to ensure that our infrastructure is strong enough to attract those large corporations that look for those components before they come to our community. So Kelly, thank you so much for working with the Glades community. You and I have had many conversations about what we can do to succeed out here in the Glades. And I think we're now at that point in the Glades collectively as the 3 cities where we can sort of toot our horn a little bit and bring in those corporations that we're able to leverage to show interest here and move forward. So I'm excited about what Pahokie's doing. Oh, and don't let me forget about the Pahokee Marina. We did have some decisions made by the commission recently to change directions on where they want the marina to move. So we had to go back to the drawing board as an administration and come up with a secondary plan to get the restaurant open. And the focus is to have the restaurant open by the end of this year. I think whoever it's going to be, we are focused on getting that restaurant open by season, and I think we can get that achieved. So that's going to be the catalyst for all the other things that Pahokee has coming down the pipe here fairly soon. And we also want to partner with our private landowners here in Pahokee. That's a challenge for us because we don't own all of the land. It's privately owned. So what we want to do is, and what we have been doing is focusing on those private landowners, specifically in the downtown corridor, to get them on board, to get them to understand what the vision is for the city of Pahokee. So I just talked about $5.8 million in projects there that are coming to Pahokee or are ongoing in Pahokee. So we're excited about where we're going collectively as the 3 cities. Again, Kelly, thank you for your support to the Glades, and we're just excited about where this foundation that you laid is going to take us in the future.
And thank you, Chandler. We are equally excited and really hope that the restaurant and the marina and the campground get up off its feet, because we really believe that's a diamond in your community, and look forward to joining you at the restaurant one day. So for the 100 people that have joined us today, this would not be possible. Pulling this together, this is the most people that we've had as an audience to tell the great story of what is happening in the Glades and the opportunities. Land is really a commodity in Palm Beach County, and if you look at the Glades, not only do they have the land and the workforce, but look at their geographic location. They are ideally located in a competitive manner for so many types of companies that we are trying to attract to Palm Beach County with good quality jobs. We've listed on the screen for you today all of our contact partners and their information and emails so that you can follow up with them for any by Florida Crystals. I mentioned earlier on in my comments that Florida Crystals was adamant that this message be spread throughout the entire community. And if you look at the participants on this call, they're not just representatives of the Glades. We wanted to toot the horn of the Glades from Boca to Jupiter and all the way out west. And so I'm going to ask Caroline Villanueva to close this out and to make some comments regarding the Glades and Florida Crystals. Caroline, thank you so much for your sponsorship of today's Zoom call.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Caroline. We hear you.
Okay, great. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Kelly, to the BDB, to the Tri-Cities Career Source, certainly Representative POLSKY, Pastor REASE, Lore, and all the attendees for participating and taking time on a COVID morning. I wish that we had the opportunity under better circumstances to get together in person and have fellowship in the Glades as we have in the past. But certainly it's very exciting that there are different corners of the county that are listening in to get an understanding of the progress that's been happening, the groundwork that's been laid, and the amount of time, which I think many here can understand and have experience for themselves in their own communities on how economic development occurs. So we hope to partner again with the BDB and look forward to continuing to support its economic development and its leadership through Sharina and Kelly and its board members. Thank you again, Kelly.
Thank you so much, Caroline. So I'll wrap it up again. Hopefully we've given you some great information on where we're at with the Glades. Everybody on this call, hopefully in a very short amount of time, in partnership with Sherry Howard and our Board of County Commissioners and the Glades leadership community. We look forward to celebrating some wins with you within the next 60 days. We appreciate your time and your interest in today's Zoom call, and thank you to our speakers for joining us. Have a great day.